Salutations and good morrow everyone, and welcome back to another Grounded Update video where today we are hopping in and going to be talking one of the things that kind of recently boomed on the channel once I went over the Mantis parts, and that is, Sim, what are all those other things that are currently inside of that tab after you use the admin command to unlock everything? So before we go any further, I'm going to tell you guys that this video will contain spoilers, so if you guys do not want to be spoiled about what could be coming in the future of Grounded, please click away now. Don't forget to hit that like button and leave me a comment down below that says thanks for not spoiling or thanks for the warning. But let's hop in and let's talk about all these things that are inside of that tab, shall we? So after you enter in the admin code that I did, you unlock a whole bunch of stuff. And how you know that you did it properly is because you'll have two lab chairs at the top. It says an actual chair that was shrunk down for labs. You stole this. So yes, that is actually how you unlock this. And I'm hoping at some point that means we'll actually be able to go and steal the lab chairs from different places around the map to keep in our own bases for more furniture. But let's go through and talk about the things that are in here. There's a thorn. This is most likely going to come off of a rose. We know that there's roses in the yard right now. We just have no need for them right now. Going down a little bit more, Dewdrop and Dirty Drop. These are just kind of different bubbles that have been in the game forever. Go down. Shiny Ant Head. This has been in this tab for a very long time. I doubt this is going to turn into anything. This has been inside of this development tab for almost a year now, so I doubt that's going to turn into anything. Ant Pheromone. This recently just got changed up. Oops, where'd we go? Ant Pheromone. This one just recently got added. It's actually like a slimy ball of ant manipulator. Smells like foot cheese. So this just got updated, which means we're probably getting pretty close to having an ant queen at some point in the game. Just right now, this is not yet in the game for us to be used, but right now it has an actual icon to it now. And it actually has a description to it as well. So we could be getting ever so closer to new bosses and new queens in the game. Scrolling down a little bit more, you'll see fertilizer. We actually have a bag of fertilizer in the backyard, so I'm hoping at some point we can get into that bag of fertilizer and use some of it for our different mushroom gardens and stuff like that for the farming that we do in the game. So I think that that'd be cool to get that. Going down a little bit more, we have Polaroid picture. This is just a blank thing. I doubt this is going to stay in the game. This is probably just a backup piece of icon specifically for when you're doing photo mode, so I doubt this is going to turn into anything. We have Stink Bug Plating and Ladybug Wing. Both of these are the third most rare items that you're going to be getting from different things in the future. Once again though, these have been in the game for almost a year that have never been used, so I'm not sure if we're actually going to be getting them. I'm hoping though that the Ladybug Wing points to the fact that we could be flying ladybugs at some point. All right, Weevil parts. Here we go. This is just what was originally needed to build the Weevil shield, but I think that this was just an in-game object that was just in for development. I doubt this is actually going to turn into anything. Same as Grub faceplate. Once again, another one that's been in the game for almost a year. Nothing been done with it yet. I'm actually going to take myself and down here. That way you guys can read full descriptions of things if you so want to. Going on down a little bit further, all of these items we've talked about before. We've seen them all in the game, except for Strider legs. Strider legs are harvested from a water strider, long and slim, but surprisingly robust. These were in the game. Water striders were in the game for a while, but they got pulled out of the game. I don't think that their development was quite right, or that they had the implementations as they thought they were going to have in the game. So they never got added to the game. So I don't know if we're actually going to get water striders at all in the game in the future, as well as the cattail fluff. Cattails are currently in the game. The thing that I like to point out with this one is that I think that this is going to come to the game solely because it says warm and insulating, and we already have a spicy zone that makes it nice and crispy. So I'm hoping at some point that we get a cold zone, maybe a fridge, freezer, cooler, spilt over ice chest, who knows, what have you, but we could be getting a cold area at some point in the game. Maybe it is a cooling chamber that's inside of a lab that Dr. Wendell built that you need to get in there to do something. I'm not sure, but cattail fluff is going to be a warm and fluffy thing you're going to need to probably make some sort of insulating clothing, maybe even insulating housing if we get seasons later on in the game. Leech sacks, we've talked about these before as well on the channel. These have been in the game for about a year, like the Strider legs. These ones have gone through and been in here for a while. Leeches were in the game. They had a mesh, they had animations, they had everything, and they looked really, really cool. But the problem with them was that there was never really anything done with them. And yes, they did boast a harpoon gun from them as well, but I feel like that the leeches just weren't ready to be added to the game because they were aggroing too many things, and I don't think that they're ready for leeches. Maybe in the upper pond, we'll see leeches finally come to the game. Live aphid, this was set up before we got our aphid pets, so right now I think this is just a dummy item in the game now, so pay no attention to that. Going on down, we've already seen all of these things come to the game, from roly-poly stuff, and then we finally get back down to the mantis stuff. The mantis stuff we talked about in the last one. Now notice how this says invalid -1 game/items. I do believe that means the mantis is not ready, and we should not set to see it in this next update that's coming. We'll probably have to wait another couple months before we actually see the mantis come to the game, but we do know we already have an armor set that's going to be coming. All right, going on further down, a couple people made some really good points about these. I said this looks like a brown ant, but if we go back up and look at the black ant gear, look at the way that the black ant parts are actually facing right now and how they lean that way, and how these parts down here that say mantis are facing the other way. A lot of people said that this looks a lot like a flea, right? Some sort of like flea or something like that. I would agree with you. I do believe that this looks like a flea. The head looks a lot like an ant head right now, but it's facing a different direction than your standard ant head and stuff. So this might be a pointer to a different bug that's coming to the game in the future. Maybe a flea, maybe some sort of cricket, maybe a chigger, something like that. There's all sorts of different things that could come that look like this, and I'm hoping for something like that. Okay, so going on down, gunpowder clump. This one I'm pretty excited about. This, I could give you guys a hint on where I think it's going to come from. I do believe that this is going to come from the cap gun, that we're going to be getting the ammo ports for the cap gun that we saw in the backyard, that the big golden one by the big green shield beetle. I do believe that at some point that this is going to be a thing. I don't know what we're going to be making from it, whether it's going to be exploding arrows or what have you. I don't think we're ever going to get some kind of gun inside of Grounded. Making bullets when you're that small would be almost impossible, and also we're talking teenagers here. Granted, they do make armor and stuff like that, but you know, it's literally a clump of gunpowder, right? I mean, that probably a better tier of bomb, but I doubt that we're going to be actually getting guns in Grounded. Dark mold clump. This one, I like the look of this. It looks like a piece of gum, but with spikies all over it. It's just kind of fun to play with. It says a gross and unstable clump of unknown mold. This is probably just going to be something that's going to be coming from another type of mushroom in the game. Maybe something else that we can harvest. Maybe a boss at some point that's going to be dropping different mold spores and stuff like that. You never know. Maybe a dung beetle of some sort. I don't know. But cool that we're getting something in there. I do want to call out this is a tier 3 item, just the same as the gunpowder clump and the mantis parts. Okay, all these are tier 3. Bug goop, we have dust mite, termites, all of this stuff, lint, spiky burrs, twinkling shells. We have another round of mantis parts here. It just says mantis head minus in-game item. So right now that's just, this is just another placeholder. This is probably going to be something other than mantis parts, probably an homage to another bug that they're working on. But right now we just have no information on it, and we have circles in here. So I doubt that even really means anything at this point. Roly-poly stuff we've talked about. Hardened sprigs, these and resin has been in the game for a long time. It says a reinforced with resin, super sturdy. I have no idea what we're going to be using a hardened sprig for. I could see maybe some building implementations, maybe a weapon or two, but nothing that's super cool in the game anymore. So I think that's just... It's been in here, like I said, for like the last year and a half since we've gone released, since I've been able to do this. So do I think anything's coming from it? Not really, no. Ant acid, that's going to be just a spurt of formic acid. Now, the thing that I want to point out with this says ant acid on it, but I also know that whip scorpions also shoot out formic acid. So maybe this could be something that could be repurposed to a whip scorpion in the future. I can hope so. If you guys don't know what a whip scorpion is, go ahead and look one up. They're pretty cool looking, and I think it'd be an awesome addition to this game, maybe in a boss section or something. Nectar slurry. Nectar slurry, I do believe, would be a way for us to tame something else in the game. Think about what likes nectar a lot. Just a thought. Ladybugs. So anyway, just think about that. Honey, this is something you can get in the game. Mushroom, algae, all of these are already in the game. All of this. Raw cricket meat, this is another one that's been in here for a long time. I do not know if we're actually going to get crickets in the game at this point. like I said, this has been in development for almost a year. Maybe later on, maybe it was something that they thought that they could put in, but they can't anymore because of how big it would be, and maybe it just doesn't work or something like that. So right now, crickets could come to the game, but without any other information, it kind of makes it really hard for us to justify whether or not a cricket actually is coming to the game, because we have no other parts in here besides this that says it's just a clump of dead cricket. So I'm going to assume that probably not, to be honest. Maybe in the last update, maybe we'll get some sort of larger creatures, but right now, in the foreseeable future or within this update, absolutely not. Going through here, all of this has been in the game for a long time. Here's all your foods that you have. Getting on down here, we do have a sour candy that's in here, a sour candy shard. The sour candy is mouth-puckling splinter from a sour candy. I'm assuming we're going to be getting a sour damage type in the future. We haven't gotten it yet, so right now we just kind of have to wait and see if anything even comes from this. We can hope so, though, because we already have spicy, salty, and minty, so sour would fall right in that as well. Maybe a damage over time type of thing would be pretty cool. Donut chunks. Donut chunks have been donuts. You can find donuts in the game. Most of them are rotten, though. If you try to harvest them, they're rotten food. Scuba mask. I think that was just a placeholder for when we were actually getting the bubble masks that we have now. So I don't think that's actually going to become anything. Buoyancy thingy. This is another placeholder item for other things that allow things to float in the game. So I do not think that this is going to become anything either. These right here, the wrap of the Blooming Assassin, shin guards of the Blooming Assassin. These, and there's also a face mask of the Blooming Assassin and a scythe of the Blooming Assassin that you don't see here. I don't know if that's the actual name of it, if it's scythe or sickle, or, you know, maybe it's claw, something like that. All of those are going to be things that look like that they could be coming right off of an orchid mantis. Now, I want to tell you guys, orchid mantises aren't huge like some mantises. So on average, an orchid mantis is about this big, where a, you know, regular mantis can get up to be about this big. So, you know, it just depends. You know, I'm not a bug guy. I don't know a ton about bugs, but right now that's the best that I can give you guys. Okay, so the other things in here, thorn. I do believe this is going to be a hat or a weapon that could be coming in the future. It's right now being held down with a placeholder image of the sombrero. Now, I can't click on these. For all of you guys who are wondering, Sim, why aren't you clicking on these items? I actually can't click on them. If I click on them, my game crashes, which definitely points us to that these are not ready to be seen in game yet, so we have to wait. Debug sword. This is purely for debugging. This isn't something that's going to come into the game. Okay. Then we have basketball. That's just a pebblet. Ultimate armor glue, something that got removed. Compass, something I still hope that they are going to be bringing to the game. Right now, it says a functional magnet powered device to determine a direction. I'm still hoping we get a compass in the future to let us know which direction we're going. I don't know how hard this would be to put into the game, but I'm still hoping we get something. Rotten larva blade. This is already in the game. Clover glider. This is pretty cool. I'm hoping that we get this, but once again, another item that's been in the game for almost a year inside of this whenever I've been doing this, and nothing has been done with it. Do I think we're getting it in this update? No. Do I think we're getting it in the future? Possibly. I cannot imagine that the only way that we're going to be getting a glider is just by using dandelion tufts. I feel like that they would do something, but maybe not out of gliders, maybe out of something else that comes later on in the game, maybe with some sort of moth or butterfly or something like that. Invalid -1 game items. This was actually a boomerang at one point. This has been completely removed from the game, not going to be used, so boomerangs are not probably going to be coming to this game at all. And the rest of these are just our smoothies, all over different kinds. And guys, that's everything that is new inside of this search resources tab. This is the natural resources things. In other words, things you can find and research or make inside of the game. Right now, this is everything that's in here, guys. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, make sure you guys hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And also, please leave me a comment down below of any other ideas that you guys think of some of the other things that are inside of this game. But thank you guys so much, and I'll see all of you guys in the next one.